Hey guys, coming at you a little different angle due to this location. I'm going to be using my 1438 from Semogue. It's been soaking for, 15-20 minutes. It's a young Boar brush, so we're training him up, getting him in gear, loosening up those bristles and helping them to split. And I am taking my Nacet blade. Today is use number 215. And I have it out of the razor this time, so let's show it to you. There's the part that goes against the top cap. And then here's the part that goes toward the handle. You can see the little, in this corner here, the half of the X that has been there the whole time. And as usual for this blade, I'm putting it in my Timeless 68 gap open comb razor. It's very harsh for me on a normal, with a normal blade that's 10 uses old or something like that. And so I can't use it for that really. It's too rough. But with this old blade, works pretty well. Declaration Grooming Puzzle 2019 version. We'll be using that with the aftershave as well. Oh yeah, I know. I opened the soap and immediately the scent came up to me. Pretty good stuff. All right, I'm gonna throw some water on my face. And we'll load up. We'll do a 30-second load. As usual, I'll shake most of the water out of my brush. This soap loads up real easy. You can come at it however you want. All right. "30-second load will probably give me some extra, but that's fine for now. That's about a 15-second load. This brush uses the extra grade hairs, and those have got some backbone to them compared to the other Semogue bristles. And so it's probably going to stir up a lather pretty easily and quickly. Maybe 25 or even 20 seconds might be better. All right, we'll take my usual lather bowl. Link to it in the description if you want to print it yourself. It's a 3D printed bowl. Sorry, due to the angle, you're not going to be able to see that lather quite as easily. I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of water right away. Pretty sure it needs that or more, so this soap, I believe you can shortcut it like that. This is the Milksteak formula from Declaration Grooming, a recent formula. Most people are really liking it. Go ahead and add another teaspoon. So we've got 3 in there now. tiny little boar brush, really good for travel probably. Some people recommend synthetics for travel because they dry a lot quicker. But me, I don't mind taking an animal brush to travel. As long as you are able to let it sit out, you know, and air dry. If you're in a travel situation where you are always packing up and the stuff's in the suitcase, then it's probably not great to do it that way. But usually when I travel, I'm able to sit my brush somewhere and let it dry. It's got a small, little bit of a chore to hold on to, like when the lather comes up to and gets a hold, gets on the handle, you know. But he was the brush that had those extra grade. I believe extra is the grade that Semogue has used in this brush, and the 620 as well. It's a popular brush that has a more kind of a permanent handle. So they're acrylic handle, but I'm a bowl latherer and the acrylic just gets too slippery. Well, right now with 3 teaspoons, this is a pretty good looking lather. It feels a little too thick. Let's measure it. Feel of it with our. That's nice and slick. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and use that. I might mix it up a little bit more, but let's just try that. All right, let's take a look. This is a pillowy lather. It almost looks too thick in the bowl until you do that stretch, and you can see that elasticity. And look how wiggly it is. Let's go ahead and use this, and I can add more water if I need to. Water on my face. This is a somewhat soft brush right now. It's still young, so I definitely expect that to improve. Go ahead and add a little bit of water. Pretty nice scrub with this brush, but still pretty soft tips, like I said, and so it's a nice combination, and it's very different from a lot of the other Semogues that don't have as much backbone, so I can see how this might be a favorite brush among, you know, some folks. I ended up adding another, almost another half teaspoon there. So I might go ahead and add a little bit to the bowl, and then we'll kind of mix it up. I'll let the lather sit on my skin for a minute while I do this, just to let it soften up my beard, and hopefully that makes for easier cutting. Great. All right, now shave 215. Definitely tuggy. This blade may be getting to the end of its life. And I don't know that I've said that yet, because this is quite a bit of tug. I mean, it's nothing that like a person of reasonable fortitude can't handle. But I've always said if it gets, too uncomfortable, then that means the blade's done. All right, so that's pass number 1. A little kind of a half rinse there. Now the catch is that when that first pass is done, everything else is kosher from there. It feels good. All right, pass number 2. See, now we're back to regular razor comfort once that first pass is done. So that leaves me with an interesting question. At what level of discomfort is that first pass? Face feels great. So the discomfort is temporary. It's just temporary. But also, it's just a blade. It's just shaving. So I'm not trying to set any world records here. I'm just curious as to how long I can get decent shaves from a blade. All right, water. Little half rinse again. Still feels very slick on my face. And yeah, I do have some extra lather here. Using cold water today. I am liking this little brush. Quite a surprise. I bought him just because he had a kind of a cool vintage look. I didn't know he was going to be so small. But he's just, his backbone is so different from the other Semogues that I have. I'm glad I have him in my collection. All right, third pass. Of course, one thing I could do is start trying my Nacet in some other razors to see if at this age it's more compatible with something else out there. All right, there's pass number 3. Very slick, performance is excellent. Razor, as usual with this soap base, is gliding easily. I have to check and see what razors I brought with me on this trip and see if I feel like trying one of those with a Nacet. And we'll do one final neck pass. It's usually required at this age of this blade. Continue to get decent shaves, so the shave quality is not the problem. I mean, it's not as good as when the blade was younger, but it's still a good shave. There are definitely guys that are going to be around using fresh young blades that or young uses on their cartridge razors that have worse shaves than I do. Okay, how much lather do we have left over? Yeah, I could reduce it if I wanted to, but probably 2 passes there. Probably reduce my load time a little bit to not have that excess, but that's almost the right amount. Wonderful scent. It's not super strong when it's in the soap form. When you want strong, you go for the aftershave splash. So let's hit that. My face is still a little wet. Shake it up, because this one's got some good healthy skin things in it. No stinging at all, so this smooth blade is being kind to my skin, and I'm getting a close cut, so it is nice. 215 uses, and it's still able to shave well. I think that's kind of my main point with all this. I'll check out my my shave, do some cleanup here, and be back with you. So that was a terrific lather. I did stop adding water a little too soon. Almost 4 teaspoons of water I used. And so I think I could have used 4 without a problem with the load I got from this brush. So 30-second load with a stiff bore brush, small bore. And that's going to need to be more than if I had a stiff big bore brush, you know, because big is going to pick up more soap. But 30-second load, small, stiff bore brush, 4 teaspoons of water would have been a perfect lather across the board, since my first pass was a little on the thick side. So very good. I think the water here is pretty soft. I don't think it's hard like I have back home. Again, just really happy with the puzzle scent, so that's nice. Joined that contest kind of in a blind scent, and so you didn't know whether I'd be having to shave with a scent I didn't like, you know. All right, got that aftershave on, no stinging with that. Face very comfortable. I mean, if I wanted to tolerate that first pass of aggression, of tugging, a little bit, tiny bit of pain, but just, a small amount. It's just, like I said, just about anybody's going to be fine with that. If I felt like tolerating that, I could probably go another 60 shaves or something like that. But we'll play around with it. We'll put it in some other razors and see what happens to the feel of the shave. All right. Well, I think we are done with use 215, and I hope there's been something here that's been good for you. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Good night.